Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm here to bring you a guide. This guide is about the link system, and then it's going to lead into the legion system. The link and legion system is super duper important for the early stages of an account, and the reason I'm making this guide is because I fucked it up. I messed it up, and I want to show you how to do it right to save yourself a good 20 hours. I'm making this guide in the hopes that it is going to be an evergreen guide. As you can see right here, it's 23 days until the crown update. The crown update's going to change a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to tell you anything about that update or what you should do in preparation for that update because this is an evergreen guide. I want to be able to show this to new players no matter how far into the future, so long as no major changes happen to the link system, or the legion system. So let's get into it. The link system. So the link system is based on characters being the level ranges are slightly different for the link system than it is for the legion system, but they both are happening at the same time. When you level up specific characters, they give you a link skill. So one of the characters is Demon Avenger. Demon Avenger gives you the link skill of plus damage, and currently mine is at level 3. So link skills level up at a slightly different number than Legion blocks. Your link skills level up at level 70 instead of level 60, and then they level up at level 120 instead of levels 100 and levels 140 for the Legion system. So 70, 120, and then 210. And the other one was level 200. The level breakpoints are just a little bit different, but the link skills are actually more important early in the game. And then once you max them out, you never have to think about them again. So the Legion blocks end up being more important later in the game. When you're first starting out, the list of link skills that you want is this list right here. So the first one that you want is Demon Avenger. Demon Avenger is just super basic, increases damage. When you're first starting out, you're not going to have enough damage to one-shot the mobs that you're killing in order to train up all these random characters. So getting this damage will allow you to get closer to one-shotting. The next one is Arc. I believe that the Arc damage increase is actually slightly higher than the Demon Avenger damage increase, but I find that Demon Avenger is easier to play for a new player. I find that Demon Avenger is less likely to die, and Arc is just a little bit harder. He's still a very powerful class, especially when you're training him up from level 30 to level 0 to level 140. But he's just a little bit weaker, so he's second. Next one is Kana. Kana gives Elementalism. The reason I don't like putting Kana first, because Kana's damage increase is actually more than both Arc and Demon Avenger. The reason I don't like putting Kana first is because this damage increase you have to attack enemies 40 times within 12 seconds. I think it's within 12 seconds. I know the duration is 12 seconds, but you have to attack enemies 40 times, and when you're training up a new character, you are not always going to be attacking enemies 40 times. That's just the simple fact of it. But the damage increase is so large that when you do activate the skill, it is powerful. Next is going to be Lara. That is this nature's friend. Increases damage just by a flat amount, 7% at the max level. And then it increases damage against normal monsters once you have defeated 20 normal monsters. Again, next is Ilium, Tides of Battle. When you're moving around, gain a stack, and each stack increases your damage. And finally, in terms of damage, the last one is Hoyoung. Hoyoung increases enemy defense ignored. This is IED. That's a super common acronym that's used for this. Ignore enemy defense, IED. This also increases damage against enemies with 100% HP. So the goal of all these first 5 these first 6 skills is just increase your damage to the point where you can one-shot the mobs. This is the last little bit. This last little bit makes it so almost all the characters after this will be able to one shot all the mobs, and it'll make your life way easier, way faster. After we've got our damage, our 6 damage ones, now we're going to go for our XP increase. XP increase makes it so you level up the characters to level 140 faster. So the first one is Elven Blessing Mercedes. Mercedes is a combo character, and I found that when I was training this character up from level from 0 to 140, it sucked. This character, it sucks in the early game, and it's super powerful once you learn how to play the character correctly and once you're fighting against bosses in the late game. But early game, she sucks. I really don't like her at all. But her link skill is super important. It increases XP. That makes it so every character after this point is easier to get from level 1 to 140, 20% faster. Super, super useful, super important. Next is Evan. Evan has another XP link skill. It doesn't say XP on there, but runes are these things that spawn in the map that you're in, and you go up and you click on them, and then it has you do a little quick time event where you click the arrow keys, and then it gives you it gives you an effect that usually kills mobs, and it gives you increased XP for a certain amount of time. And unlocking this skill increases the amount of time that you have bonus XP. So this one's really, really nice. Oh, and it increases the amount of time that the effect that kills mobs for you is active. So that's cool too. After Rune Persistence, then we go for Combo Kill Blessing. This is Arin. Arin is actually a character you could put at the very, very front, in front of Demon Avenger. She's super, super easy to get to level 140. She just does a lot of damage. She one-shots the mobs most of the time. You might have to do her second. So Demon Avenger first, then Arin second. But the problem is that her XP increase isn't as powerful as Mercedes or Evan's. So she's just not as important. Like these numbers seem really high. Plus 900% XP. It's not that much. It's nice. It'll make it so when you train up these characters, it's going to be a little bit faster, but it's not crazy. It's not Mercedes 20% faster, So far we've had the 6 damage ones, Demon Avenger to Hoyoung. Then we did our XP ones, Mercedes, Evan, Arin. And then these last 3 are kind of, you don't have to have these ones, but I think they're really, really nice, especially as an early game player. So this next one is Phantom. And Phantom, his link skill just increases your critical rate. Now, critical rate is a stat that's super, super easy to get. You'll get it bunches, and you only ever need to get to 100%. But the problem is, all of the ways to get critical rate are really easy to get in the late game, after you have upgraded your Legion block, after you've upgraded your Legion artifact, after you've done all this stuff. And in the early game is when it's most important to get to this 100% critical rate. So getting Phantom up to level 15 will just make it so when you make these new characters, you can just throw the Phantom Link skill on there, and you'll be really, really close to the 100% critical rate right away. And that'll be a big, big damage increase for whatever class you're training up to level 140. Next is going to be Kinesis. Kinesis's link skill increases your critical damage. Now, 4%, that seems really small. Critical damage is actually way, way more powerful than any stat increase that you can get. This 4% is worth, I don't know the exact number, but we'll just pretend it's worth like 12%. It's worth way more than what it seems like it is. And it's super important. But the thing is, this only increases your damage to the maximum that it possibly can after you have reached 100% critical rate in the first place, which is why you do this after Phantom. And then finally, and the reason I don't have this is because I didn't follow my own guide. So I'm literally just nerfed compared to what I could be, because I didn't do this in the correct order. And then next is Xenon. Again, I don't have a Xenon. Let me have a Xenon because I'm bad. I didn't know. That's why I want you guys to know. Xenon's link skill just increases all stats by 10%. So this is increases your base stats: strength, dex, luck, int. 10% all stat. It's just free damage. and it's really, really good. After you have completed those 12 characters, this is 12 on purpose. 6 damage, 1, 2, Demon Avenger, Arc, Kana, Lara, Ilium, Hoyoung, and then you got your XP ones, 6 damage. Mercedes, Evan, Arin, that's not, we're at 9 now. And then Phantom, Kinesis, Xenon. That fills out this board with 12 link skills. If the class that you've chosen as your main is a part of those 12, just pick any other class, really. There's some that are better than others. Kali is a really good one. Lyn is a really good one. Kane is a really good one. Those are good options. Those are just like the basic 12 to get you started. You could have presets. There we go. So you could have presets. So this preset here is the one that I use for training. And then I use this one here for fighting the bosses, because this just increases boss damage. This just increases boss damage. It doesn't help you when you're training up these characters, but it does help you once you've chosen a main and once you're fighting the bosses. So these next ones are going to be what you want to do in terms of boss damage. First is going to be Luminous. The problem with Luminous as a late game player is that IED is another one of these stats that you can get everywhere. You'll have way more than you ever need. You really don't need Luminous for most characters. Certain characters do want it, but most characters don't need it. You have enough from other sources that you'll never ever need this. But as a new player, again, you're not going to have these other sources of IED. So you're not going to have enough, and you're going to want this IED plus 15%. You will stop using this later in the game. So if you don't want to waste your time doing Luminous, you can skip it, but I really like Luminous when you're just starting out. It's super duper useful. So next is going to be Demon Slayer. I have a Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is super duper simple. Just increase boss damage. Super good. It's just a classic. This is good for bossing. It says it right there in the word boss damage. Next is going to be Mojuan. Mojuan is just increased boss damage. Again, it just increases the boss damage. This one you have to stack it up by hitting the boss. When you're at max stacks at level 2 specifically, it's 16%, which is higher than Fury Unleashed, which is only 15%. So if you want to do Mojuan first, sure, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Next is going to be Lyn. There's Lyn's boss damage, critical rate, max HP, max MP. So the reason I've chosen one that increases critical rate is because this one's actually just going to replace Phantom when you're bossing. At this point, you'll have a decent amount of Legion, so you actually won't necessarily need the Phantom Link skill. You'll have enough crit, and Lyn will take some of that crit and turn it into boss damage, but still give you some crit. So, crit rate. So that one is a good 1-for-1. Just replace it for Phantom, and you'll still have 100% crit rate, and you'll also gain some boss damage from it. The next one is going to be Angelic Buster. So Angelic Buster is an activated skill. You have to assign it to a key and actually use it. It lasts for 10 seconds, and it is 60% increased damage. Every single class uses this link skill during their burst skills. It is the best damage link skill out of almost all of them in terms of boss damage. I mean, it's crazy. At 60% is huge. That's a big number. It's really, really big. So that it's only 40% at level 2. Really good for bossing. It's one of the best bossing link skills. You need to get it. And then the last one, again, because I didn't follow my own guide, I don't have the Explorer Mages. I don't have a single one of them. The Explorer Mages, there are 3 of them, and they all share a link skill, and each one that you get to level 140 levels the link skill up by 2. So you'll be at level 6 when you do this. You have a 25% chance to identify the weakness. The way that this works is you stack it up to 3 times when you hit the boss. This is a bossing skill, of course, and each stack increases your damage against them by 3% and increases your IED against them by 3%. It's super, super good. It's just straight up a lot of damage. That is the Link skills, and that is the order that I suggest new players to go in. Now that you've done all of these Link skills, doing these Link skills increases your Legion. So what is the Legion system? The Legion system is a total measurement of the amount of levels of characters that you have in the game. So your total level, I have a total level of 4,510, and if I click my switch character button, you see all of these levels add up to get into that system. And this system allows you to get a bunch of free stats. So when you first start off, you'll only have this inside small square. And then as you level up, you will gain these outer squares very slowly. You gain extra squares on this grid based on the rank you are. So when you are at 2,000 total level, Nameless Legion rank 4, you get 6 squares per stat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you see I'm at 4,500. 4,500 is this one right here because it's not this 5,000 yet. So I have 21 squares per stat. For each Legion member, it gives you a square on your board. So if I assign members, you can see that my main character is an SSS. That's because he's level 250, and he's 5 squares worth of squares, and he only counts as 1 member, but he's 5 squares worth. Legion block gives a specific stat, so you can see the Dawn Warrior Legion block gives max HP, the Demon Slayer Legion block gives abnormal status resistance, the Wild Hunter Legion block gives 20% chance to deal 20% extra damage. The size of the member corresponds to what level they are. So if they're level 60 to 99, they're a rank B. I don't think I have any rank B members. 1 second. I do have 1 rank B member. And you can see a rank B member is just 1 block. They're teeny tiny. They're small. A rank A member is 2 blocks. A rank S member is 3 blocks. And that's what most of my members are, rank S. SS, starting at level 200, is 4 blocks, and then triple S, you have to get a character to level 250, and that is 5 blocks. Leveling all of these up to 140, like I said, there we go, gets you these stat blocks that are size 3, and having these size 3 stat blocks allows you to have more slots on the board. If you got all, I specifically have this mathed out, right? So there are 20 characters on the list that I just showed you. 12 in the first set, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And there's 8 in the second set. If you do 20 characters up to level 140, you are going to be at 2,800 Legion. 2,800 Legion is right below this number right here, 3,000, where you get 13 outer grid stats, and all you need to do is pick a main character and level that one up to 200, and you'll be there. And this will help you so much in the early game. It will actually save you hours and hours and hours. That is the Legion system, the order that I am proposing to you, especially to new players. Now, in the link or in the description of this video, I'm a spreadsheet that I made right over here, and the spreadsheet you can sort by all of these different things. So the first one is just the order that they appear in the character creation screen, minus the 2 that are usually in the top left. Currently, those 2 are Ren and Wild Hunter. In a few days, or in 23 days, that'll switch over to Arrow Light, and then Kinesis will eventually switch in the summer as well. But if you click this first one here, that'll sort it by the basic order in the character selection screen. Then you can also sort by A to Z on job, which is useful if you know the name of the job. You can just have that show up, or you can find it easier. And then you can sort by Legion block bonus. This one's nice because it puts all of the ones of a specific type together. So all the dex blocks are together, all the int blocks are together. When you're a little bit higher level, this will be fairly useful. You can sort by link skill, but these are like shortened descriptions. It's not very useful to sort by link skill. The real reason that this is going to be nice is because if you sort by Legion block, sort by color, it'll put all of the ones that give a specific thing that you need together. So these are all just damage increases. Shade, Mojuan, Hayato, Sia Estelle, Wild Hunter. If you sort by boss, it'll put the boss ones first. IED, buff duration, boss damage, skill cooldown for Mercedes, that's important. If you sort by stat, of course, it'll put all of the stats of all kinds together. You can see Xenon actually gives strength, dex, and luck as his Legion block, but that number is slightly smaller than the dedicated Legion blocks for the other stats. And then you can also sort by link skill category. For the link skill category, I actually have a specific one that's only in the link skill portion here. And those are the defensive ones. That would include, the Battle Mage, the Resistance link skill, which makes you invincible for X seconds after being revived. Hero Paladin Dark Knight for healing when you're below 15% HP. Shades, surviving fatal attacks. Zero, Blaster, Dark Knight. Ren is really nice. Mihail's is super duper useful. Everybody uses that one. Just kidding. And then all of these are labeled and colored. And the reason that they're labeled is because down here in the bottom, all of these are labeled as to what I think the best priority, how important they are. I should maybe switch train and damage. I'm undecided yet. That might be switched in the final version. But the reason these are ranked is because over here in this last column is the new player ranking. So if you're a new player and you sort this from Z to A, it'll put all of the most important ones at the top. And this number is just adding the values from these other two together. It's really simple. So it says, Sia Estelle, Hayato, and Mercedes are the three best ones. I don't have Sia Estelle and Hayato on the new player guide, but they are very, very powerful. And especially Hayato is actually like the most amount of damage you can get from one link skill plus stat block combo. But Hayato's link skill only increases your crit damage if you are already at 100% crit rate and 50% crit damage. And as a new player, you might not be able to reach both of those two stats at the same time. So building that before some of these other ones, like Phantom especially and Kinesis, will actually just waste your time because you won't get the bonus. But he's a super powerful one. You can see at the top here, most of the ones that are on my list are actually up here. So Mercedes, Lara, Hoyoung, Kali I said was an alternative option. Demon Avenger, Kana, Mojuan, Phantom. So this new player ranking is fairly nice, though the final numbers might change a little bit if I decide that damage is more important than training. One thing to note about this like calling a class low priority, this spreadsheet does not rank anything, especially it does not talk about what a main is like. A main character is going to be completely different than when you're talking about what Legion block stat they give and what link skill they give. these link skills here are the basic 12 that you'll use for bossing. The only problem with this one is it's not great for new players. As a later, or even mid game players, this is the thing you're gonna follow for 90% of characters. But like Kadena, I don't have Kadena on my list because when you're training up new characters, you're not going to have you're not going to be higher level than the character you're fighting, and you might not necessarily have a an abnormal status effect afflicted against them. So hers will literally be useless for training up new characters. I put Xenon on there. I actually changed. Originally, I had Kali instead of Xenon. I changed it to Xenon because of this infographic. Um, Hayato. The Hayato. Hayato is not on the list because you have to have a baseline, a minimum amount of stuff first before it does anything. And if you don't have that, it does nothing. So it's not very good for a new player exclusively, and that's it. Don't do this. This is good once you're a mid-game player or once you've already completed these 20, because, hey, guess what? A lot of these 20 are already in the list. There's only a couple extra you have to do after these 20. So, and eventually you should be getting all of these characters up to level 210 for the level 3 link skill. The reason that you go to level 140 is because it's faster. That's literally the only reason. Getting from level 0 to level 140 only really takes you maybe 3 hours per character if you follow the basic story. And actually, I'll show you exactly, because so the basic key for opening up your quest menu is the J key, and the quests that you want to do usually say the word main on them. So this character, I haven't really done I haven't done very many of the main quests. So you see Rihanna Strait is a main quest. Do that one. It's levels 30 to 59. If you follow that, you'll level up from level 30 to 59. You don't have to do these exact ones, by the way. Just any of the ones that say main with a level range usually will level you up to that maximum level range by the time you finish the quest. Stone Colossus is level 150 to 159, so you wouldn't actually want to do that one in this case because it's above level 140. Korean Folktown. Korean Folktown is levels 125 to level 129. Doing that will level you up to those level ranges. Again, you should grab the ones that are say main on them. There are ones for every levels from levels 30 all the way up to level 200 actually. But just do the ones from levels 30 to level 140. If you follow those storylines, you can really just hold your interact key and it'll skip through the dialogue really fast if you don't care, and just do what the quests say. Yeah. And you'll level those characters up to level 140. It takes about 3 hours. It can be faster. If as you go through it, you'll get better at it. Your first time might take like 5 hours, but then as you get faster, you've gone through it a couple times, you'll start getting faster at it, and it'll take like 3 hours. Like for me here, I'll actually explain why I made this video, because I did it all wrong and it made it take forever. So what I ended up doing is I made my main character, right? And then the first one I made, I was like, oh, I need boss damage. So I made a Demon Slayer. And then I was like, oh, I need more boss damage. I'm not doing enough damage. So the next one I made was a Night Lord. And that's another one that's good for boss damage increase. And then guess what? I was like, I still need more damage. So I made an Arc. And then I made, I don't remember what I made next. Oh, and then I made a Mercedes next. I was like, training these characters up takes so long. And the reason that I hated playing this Mercedes so much is because I didn't follow my own order. I didn't play Demon Avenger first to increase my damage. I didn't play Arc, but I did play Arc before Mercedes. But I didn't play Kana before playing Mercedes, or Hoyoung, or Lara, or Ilium. I only played one of those, just the Arc, before playing the Mercedes. And I hated Mercedes because it took so much longer to level her up because I didn't have increased damage. So doing that order is going to save you a bunch of time. I mean, I probably wasted 10 hours doing this in the wrong order. Maybe even more than that. And that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But when you're just starting out, the progress comes so fast that 10 hours in the early game is actually really, really impactful. I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully that this guide is going to help new players because I got screwed over because I didn't follow a guide like this for doing it, and I really did waste a good like 20 hours. I know I said 10 hours last time I said that. I wasted a good like 20 hours. It sucked. I want to help players play the game. I think this game is really fun most of the time. Most of the time. So being able to help players have a good time will make me happy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody.